So I have to add myself to the stage. This is crazy. All right. First time using StreamYard. That didn't really work the way I wanted to. But what's up? We're ADR's TV back. We are here. We're going to talk about some transfer news. We're going to see what's up. We're going to see what's popping. I was a little bit confused there. I'm trying to just make sure everything's good. For some reason, I want to make sure nothing is lagging. I feel like it might be lagging. Could be because of the background. First time again using StreamYard. So we out here. We're trying to see what's up. We are going to talk about some of the transfer rumors. I normally typically don't do these type of shows, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to see what's up. I want to get some people's opinion on the playback, or if you're in chat, whatever team you support. We're going to see who Arsenal should be getting to start off. Then we'll go down Chelsea, Manchester United. I think we'll kind of keep it at those three. I don't think City's going to be doing any news or any business because 131 charges now, I think, is ringing up on their thing. But we are going to see what is going on with that. So other than that, let's get into it. Right. First kind of transfer rumor I want to get into, though, if I'm being honest with you, is who is Arsenal finally going to sign as a striker? That is the $1 million question. Striker, right winger, whoever. I need somebody to do something. We need somebody like this legend here, right? We need somebody. We need somebody doing something at Arsenal. Saka is out injured, as everybody already knows. So the biggest thing for me is going to be who are we going to have, not to necessarily replace him, but to get us some action, man. Who's going to help us? Because we need some help up front. Kai Havertz ain't it, right? And Jesus, he's going to go through some purple patches, but he's not going to be who we need this whole time. I got to get used to looking here. He's not going to be who we need this whole time, right? So we're going to look at some different options here. We're going to look at some of the rumors that are coming up, who we want to come versus who we're getting linked with. The first person that looks like that we're getting linked with is, who else would it be other than somebody who's injured? Cunha. Looks like Cunha from Wolves, who I think is actually a quality player, is getting linked with Arsenal. Now, the problem with that, again, is the simple fact that this man is injured right now. I think he actually hurt himself in the very last game that they played. So it would be just like Arsenal to go ahead and get somebody who's injured to hop on the team and say, hey, we need your help here. Like, bro, doesn't make any type of sense. But that's some stuff that Arsenal like to do. I guess the positive part about this is that we can say that they're looking for some sort of attacking option. Now, will this attacking option be what we need? I don't necessarily know. I think we have too many people already who are decent on the ball, but aren't the greatest when it comes to being strikers, because that's what we need. We need somebody who's going to put the ball in the back of the net consistently, right? So that's something that I need them to start doing. We need somebody who's a poacher almost, in the sense of being able to just score as second nature. All that stuff in the midfield is all fine and dandy, but if I'm being honest with you, it doesn't really mean anything if we don't have anybody who is able to score a goal, right? So we got Cunha, who's on there. I think he's very similar to Jesus, to be quite honest with you. Gets injured, does a lot of things around the box that are very good link-up play, things like that, strong, pretty quick, good on the ball. But I don't think that he's who Arsenal needs. So that's kind of something that I've been looking at, and we're going to see how that works, right? So, I don't necessarily think that he's not a good answer. I just don't think that he's who we need. Now, moving on to people who I think that we should be looking at is Victor Gyökeres. If I'm not mistaken, that's how you pronounce his name, the Swede international. Everybody wants Victor, right? He's a hot commodity on the streets right now. Him, I think that he's honestly the top striker right now that everybody's looking at. I just think that the difference between him is he's so clinical in front of goal that's actually going to be helping Arsenal. Yes, the good combination play, the working hard on defense, and things like that are definitely going to help. But if we're being completely honest here, that's not what Arsenal need right now. We need somebody who's going to get in position, strong, fast, and finishes with both feet. So that's what I think that we need right now, is we need a finisher's finisher, right? So if I'm being honest with you, I think that's one of the things that Arsenal is lacking, have lacked for the last since we got rid of Aubameyang, I don't even think we've replaced him. And now we're not only looking for a striker to come in and make a difference, we are looking for somebody on the right wing to make a difference as well, right? So if you're an Arsenal fan, leave me a comment on who you think that we should be getting. I really feel like the quality of this isn't where I want it to be, but I guess we're kind of gonna just move. I guess that's the beginning part of starting these streams, right? These live streams, you can't really make adjustments. You can't look at the video prior to that. So hey, look, you guys are getting raw, real, authentic. There it is, right? So I'm hoping that we can continue pushing forward as a club. I don't necessarily know if Arteta is the guy to get us over the line, but we're gonna go ahead and look at that. We see more people in the chat. What's up? What's up? What's up? Hope everybody's enjoying their night. But we are here trying to talk about who Arsenal need as a striker. Another option could be Victor Osimhen, right? So he has a lower release clause now, now that he's playing in Turkey. So he could be an option that we need. Either him or Victor Gyökeres. I think that we need Gyökeres, if I'm being honest with you. I think that Osimhen is a little I think he's a little bit more wishy-washy. I think it's a little bit easier for Gyökeres, however you pronounce his name. I think it's Gyökeres, but I think it's easier for him to be able to transition to the Premier League, just for the simple fact he's played in the Championship. And we all know how brutal the Championship can be. So he's gone over to be able to play with that the strength, the pace, kind of that athleticism of the Championship, but then also gone over to the Portuguese league, and been able to show that he's also able to be around more technically gifted players and not look like a fish out of the water, right? So I think he's done a good job with both of those abilities to be able to kind of mold and go wherever he goes. So I think that he would be better for Arsenal, but I don't care. I'm going to be honest with you. Either of the Victors right now is somebody that Arsenal need. And then it looks like, as far as transfer, that Kieran Tierney may be going out and Jakub Kiwior. I don't know if they're going to be going out necessarily this January. I think that Tierney has been very hard done by. Yes, his injuries have really slowed him down, but I think that in some of the times that Arteta has been here, we've needed an obvious up and down left back, and somebody that can possibly unlock Martinelli a little bit more, because he was great 2 seasons ago and then just completely lacked any sort of, it seemed like, any help on that side. Martin Odegaard floats over to the right-hand side with Saka, and then you've got Ben White, who is in there now, Jurrien Timber, who's over there, who has been able to help Saka, kind of help him if he gets double teamed with overlaps or either underlaps, right? Or Saka is able to, one of the things that they were doing, Ben White did very well, is Saka would get the ball out wide. He would play it back to Ben White and make that darting run and cross either in front of or behind that defender who is the left back there, and split between the left back and that left center back. Saka would receive the ball and be able to go straight in on goal, right? So that was something that Saka was getting the benefit of. And granted, I don't think that Martinelli's done a very good job of developing how he should 1v1. But if we're being honest here, he's left on the island a lot of the times, because Xhaka was there in that left 8 position and was able to give him some freedom of, all right, I don't have to necessarily take my man on 1v1. I can play in a lot of the areas without the ball, right? I can check back towards the ball and make a run in behind, right? And that's Martinelli's game right there, really, to be honest with you. I think that he could be converted to a 9 at some point, depending on what team he's for. I think that if Jurgen Klopp got a hold of him whenever he was at Liverpool, he would have been a force to be reckoned with. I think his development would have been far better than what it is right now. I think one of the things that Mikel Arteta is lacking right now is the ability to make strikers and wingers do well. I think that Saka is just doing well because Saka is Bukayo Saka, to be quite honest with you. But, I mean, Martinelli really needs some help on that side, or we need to get somebody that challenges Martinelli. Yes, Trossard is doing decent, but he's pushing up in age. I think we need another direct left winger to go out there, challenge Martinelli, and almost show him how to be a left winger. I think one of the bigger problems that he's having right now is there is no versatility in his game, right? So I think that if we are able to get a winger that can possibly go on the right-hand side, left-hand side, that could open up or unlock Martinelli game. And I know that sounds crazy, just because the fact that unlocking his game, wouldn't necessarily be great if he had to have some competition. But sometimes that's how some people, that's how their game gets unlocked. You know what I mean? You need to have some competition. You need to have somebody pushing you, man. These guys are waking up every single day. They're 22, 23, and they know they're starting for Arsenal. Like, I just don't, again, back in this man's day, that just wasn't happening. You didn't wake up knowing that you're going to start. I just don't get who did that, right? Who said, let's go ahead and have these 21, 22, 23-year-olds wake up, know they're starting, and move on from there. I disagree with that, right? And we got a little bit of spark on the right-hand side from Bukayo Saka's side, from Ethan Nwaneri, but I don't think that he's necessarily the answer, right? He's 17 years old. My man needs to be watched just like we should have watched Saka. Granted, he hasn't played nearly as many minutes as Saka did starting out, and he's still, kind of making his way into the team. But we don't need to push him too fast, too far either, to be quite honest with you. If we do that, I mean, we're going to be looking like Struggle Bus Riders #1, right? So I think that we need to look at a couple different options. I think one of the guys that I personally like is Lookman, right? And if I'm not mistaken, Lookman has a release clause that I believe is 45 million pounds. So I think there is absolutely zero reason for us to not be looking at Lookman. This man has been tearing it up this year. He tore it up last year, and I think a lot of people were a little bit hesitant. And this is kind of the thing that bugs me about fan bases in general, but I'm going to point out Arsenal's fan base. The one thing that bugs me is the fact that if the player isn't immediately proven, guys just automatically write them off. Like, you guys have to also look at attributes and skills and things that can set them apart, right? I remember a lot of the Arsenal fans, I won't say a lot, but I'll say a good bit of the Arsenal fans before Isak joined Newcastle, they were all sorts of disjointed, saying, okay, he hasn't really done it at Real Sociedad. I think his numbers at Real Sociedad was like 11 goals, something like that. Definitely didn't pop off the page, and he's already got 11 goals this season. We could have used this man. I think he's the most I don't want to say these words lightly. I hate the comparisons, but I think that if he was to come to Arsenal, wear the 14, he would be the most like my man here over my shoulder, because his ability to not only link up play, his quickness, his decisiveness. And I think what sets him apart that people don't realize, that is very high level for a lot of strikers, is knowing when to shoot. You don't necessarily need to beat your defender to get the shot off. You just need to create enough space, a half yard, to be able to whip it back post around the defender. Because a lot of times, if you keep the ball near to the defender, if you're on the left-hand side and he's defending you facing up, if you're able to bend it around him and use his leg almost as a wall to the keeper, you have a better actual chance of scoring than you would if you were to get around him, completely go on your right foot, because now the keeper has a better idea of where you're going to go. Now, yes, you'll get a more centralized position as far as you can go near post or you can go far post. But a lot of that time, the keeper's already understanding that if you're coming in from the left-hand side, you're gonna bend it back post, right? So I think that those are some of the options that I've been looking at. I think we're looking at a gentleman. I don't want to butcher his name. His name is, it's the gentleman from the Bundesliga. They call him the new Mo Salah, right? So that's somebody who I think that is going to be looking at, Arsenal is going to be looking at. I wouldn't necessarily put him as the new Mo Salah, because I think that's a bit outrageous, but he's, rapid, right? The guy's quick. He looks like he is finding his footing. And I think if you're going to take a chance on 35, 40 million, there's no reason not to take a chance on somebody, right? You need to start taking chances on some people. We need to see some incomings through this transfer window. I mean, I can't do this anymore with the non-incomings that Arsenal keep doing, trying to, and again, this probably tracks back to the owners, but it is what it is with some of the people that come in thinking that Arsenal are just going to continue on with the players that they have and then not use them, right? So, and another name, Daily Doosan, right? Another name that is popping back up is Vlahovic. Do we really want Victor Vlahovic? Or not Victor Vlahovic, Dusan Vlahovic? Do we really want him? I don't think we do. I don't think we need him. I will take him. I'm going to be honest with you. I'll take him. But I think that we have enough tall, left-footed people who aren't fast, quick, or take a defender on. That's my view. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have no time for Vlahovic at all. The Juventus fans are upset at him. He's got high wages. My man's going to demand a high transfer fee. The Juventus fans don't want him. I don't want him. Hey, look. Anybody who's seen Rush Hour 2, then you'll get it, right? They don't like you. I don't like you, right? I don't. There's a reason. There's a reason why. Because he's on high wages and he doesn't produce as much as they thought he would. Okay? So I'm good on Vlahovic. If we get him, I'll deal with him. But it is what it is, right? So let's move on to our next team. I've done rambling again about Arsenal. Sometimes you'll notice on this channel, if I'm talking about Arsenal, I'm going to ramble on a little bit more. But who do I want to go to next? Let's go to Chelsea, right? Let's go to Chelsea because they should be brief. Chelsea look like they're trying to deal with more outgoings and ingoings, right? The reason why I didn't mention one of these guys under the transfer market for Arsenal is just because I felt like it's more of a Chelsea story. Nkunku is looking like he's trying to leave because of the lack of playing time. Now, I don't blame him. Do you blame him? I don't blame him. I think that he was lighting up the Bundesliga before he came here. Yeah, now granted, he got injured when he very first came into the Premier League, needed some time to recover and then get his feet back under him. But I think that Nkunku is a very, very good striker option, to be quite honest with you. I think he's a very good striker option. I'm going to move this a little bit, man. It's bugging me. I'm going to do it like this. I don't want to block Thierry, though. There we go. All right. So I think that Nkunku is a very good option. I actually wouldn't mind him as a backup for Odegaard, to be quite honest with you. You guys let me know what you think. I want to know what you guys think about Nkunku coming in. If you're an Arsenal fan, let me know. Sorry for a little bit of the pixel dilation with the green screen. Your boy's still trying to figure this stuff out, man. It's going to be a long process. We'll get it sorted, and then we'll go from there. But I think Nkunku would be good. I think he would be absolutely fantastic for Arsenal. I think another person that Chelsea are trying to get rid of is Ben Chilwell. He's fallen out with, it looks like, Enzo Maresca. What I do respect about Maresca is he's let the people know that he's going to keep and let them know who he's not going to keep. He's not really playing games. Now, granted, he's tried different things and different tactics with the players that he wants to keep, but I think he's done a great job of letting people know, hey, look, I'm not playing games. When it comes to who I want these guys and I want these guys out, right? So Ben Chilwell, he's on high wages. He's been at Chelsea long enough. He's, I wouldn't say necessarily injury prone, but he's had quite a few injuries. So I think that Maresca is doing a great job of just letting people know, hey, look, man, I'm not trying to have that, right? I'm not trying to do that. So they're looking to offload him. And then it looks like Chelsea's actually looking at Youssef Fofana from AC Milan. I believe he played at Lille last season. I'm almost positive, and he was sold, or his bidding price was like 25 million pounds. And I wanted Arsenal to go out and get him. I felt like he was a very good midfielder. It looks like AC Milan are ready to get rid of him, and it looks like Chelsea is trying to look at Youssef Fofana from AC Milan. I think that personally, Chelsea should stay away from any Fofanas. They're having a hard time right now with Fofana. That Fofana name ain't getting them. All right, so hey, look, Wesley Fofana looks like he's leaving Chelsea. Chelsea are ready to offload him. Looks like it's coming faster than we thought, too. So Chelsea are going to try and get some people off that monstrous long list of names. They're going to try and get them off the wage bill and then go from there. Again, I think that Chelsea should stay away from Fofanas in general. But the people that are coming in and out, appreciate you. But I think that Chelsea really need to – we know that the list of priorities that Chelsea needs are center backs. They need center backs. And they also need some experienced players. I think they have enough young players right now to last them a lifetime, to be quite honest with you. They need some experienced center backs that are going to go ahead and teach their center backs that they currently have, their outside backs, some discipline. I think Cuckoo is the only experienced gentleman on that team. And I would even say he's not necessarily experienced when it comes to the Premier League. Yeah, he's got some Euro experience now as of recently, but he's not somebody who I'd call a leader, right? Thiago Silva was that leader for you guys. He was damn near your best player for the last 3 years prior to the season, before he left. So let's be honest here. You guys lost a big piece when it came to that. Now, if you guys had Thiago Silva as like a player coach this season, I think your back line would be a lot better because of his ability to bring people together. He has real leadership qualities. He's been playing for freaking 20 years. My man's got generational knowledge, right? So he'd be teaching Caldwell not to make these dumb challenges that you guys see, giving up, crappy penalties and crappy free kicks outside the 18 and things like that. But it is what it is. That's a learning curve for Caldwell. I think that's kind of one of those things he's just gonna have to go through. But it is one of those things that as a defender, you either make or miss, right? Your decisions, your rashness really highlights on that team, right? So whether you're doing good or whether you're doing bad is going to be very well known, right? So people know what Chelsea need. I think that Chelsea knows what Chelsea needs, but I think that they also know that they need to get some outgoings out here with FFP and with their crazy structure of contracts. 7-8 years is going to be difficult to get these guys off. I think where they did do well is structured the wages. The wages for these guys aren't astronomical, so they did a good job on structuring that. But I think one of the things that Chelsea really needs to make sure that they do is not go and buy their number 9, their keeper, their center backs prior to getting people out. And I'm sure they know that, right? I'm sure they know that. But, we got to say it anyway on this channel, make sure that everybody knows our opinion. I think that that's the smartest route for Chelsea. Moving on, this is going to be a quick show here, but I think that we will move on to Manchester United. The reason I picked these 3 teams is just because I feel like they have the wherewithal and understanding to know that they probably are the 3 teams that need to do the most in the market. Manchester United, I believe, are sitting 14th right now, which is it's pretty funny, to be honest with you. But to all my Manchester United fans, I'm sorry, my man. I'm sorry. But it's still a little funny. We're in the mud. You guys weren't sitting here saying, "Oh, I feel bad for Arsenal." Like, no, you guys were beating us 8-2. So taking our players, Van Persie and all that. So, and even then, we had some banter a little bit after that. So look, man, I don't feel sorry for you guys at all. I'm gonna be honest. I'd rather see Nottingham Forest where you guys should be or used to be. So hey, look, big up Nottingham again. But I think that some of the things that I'm noticing from Manchester United is they are saying they don't have the money necessarily because the players are on ridiculous wages. But who's going to buy Marcus Rashford? They're going to look to try and get rid of him in January. He's already rejected 3, it looks like 3 bids from the Saudi Pro League, right? So, hey, look, that's one of those things that's going to be difficult for them to try and get over on, right? So we're going to see how this all works. I think that Rashi is going to have to make a decision, put some ego to the side. I think he's going to have to go to a team for a low bid, maybe lower wages, and he's going to understand he's not that same player that he was. And if he is, he's going to have to prove it, right? You can't just sit here and say who you are. You need to prove it, right? So look, man, there's quite a few different things I think that Manchester United are going to have to try and do. With Barcelona not being able to register Almo, I think that is huge for a lot of teams in Premier League. Man, so quality, right? So I think that Manchester United, from the looks of it, from reports, are looking to try and activate that. I think I might have saw something about a medical, but that would be ridiculous if they're scheduling a medical for a gentleman that they need to not entirely. Actually, that's a good question. If anybody watches this, leave a comment down below. Would they need to? They still need to pay the transfer fee for him, correct? Because Barca still owes who they got Almo from 48 mil, and then they have to pay all of his wages until 2028 or 2029 or something, whatever his contract runs out to. So Barca just got themselves into that. But I don't know if that negates the fact that Manchester United will have to pay a transfer fee or not. So somebody let me know down in the comments if you know what that situation is. I think you'd be a good pickup for Manchester United. I think that would mean that they're going to offload Bruno. I think Bruno is ridiculously and highly overrated. Me and Sebastian from a stream yesterday talked about Bruno briefly, and I just can't even believe how overrated this man has been over the last 3, 4, 5 years. I really do. I know so many people who rated him highly, but now are starting to realize he had no reason to be rated that highly. So I think that he'll be somebody that they need to get off the wage bill. And they just gave him a new contract. They gave him a new contract for 350 bags a week for him to be getting red cards and struggling. So Bruno is, out here not doing the business, not acting like a captain of Manchester United. I can surely tell you that. And we got loads of people. Harry Maguire needs to go. Lisandro Martinez. I mean, Harry Maguire is playing more like Lindsey Maguire, to be honest with you. I don't know if anybody catches that show, but hey, look, if you know, you know. Then you got Lisandro Martinez, who needs to be shifted over to left back because he's a midget and he can't head any ball. I mean, my man is 5'3", and he's trying to bully people. So I mean, every single time that somebody goes up for a header, they're just gonna foul or call a foul for him undercutting. And then his nickname is the Butcher, so it's like he constantly tries to prove how hard body he is, how tough he is. Like, bro, relax, okay? You don't need to go in here every single time and try and break somebody's leg. And even if you're gonna try and do that, at least be successful and get the ball. Like, make it a little bit less obvious you're trying to be hard-nosed and it just doesn't make sense. I think the way he plays is really stupid. I've heard Lisandro Martinez versus Romero from Tottenham comparisons. I think Romero's clear pretty easily, actually. But it is what it is, right? So that's another person they're going to try and offload. Luke Shaw, they're going to have to try and offload. I mean, they got lists of players, right? I mean, they literally need a whole overhaul like Arsenal did. Looks like Alejandro Garnacho was being mentioned in there. I think they said something, a report was saying that he leaked some information about Manchester United, probably told a family member went on, so forth. I think he's only 19 years old, so that happens, right? But hey, look, you live and you learn, man. This is your job. This is your career. You can't be out here doing stupid stuff, right? So, Manchester United fans, let me know who you guys think that you need to do. Squirtsy, is out here struggling, Xerxes. He's, every single time the ball comes to him, it's squirting underneath his foot. It's just, and it's out the other side, right? It's crazy. But it's just one of those things, man. I think that Xerxes got hard done by the other day by getting booed off by United fans. Now, you fans know that was a little bit harsh, man. Yes, it's tough for a player to come off after 30 minutes, but you guys didn't need to do my man like that. Come on. And you guys got a wrestler up front in Hoyland. He should join the WWE, right? Goodness gracious. You guys are struggling. And when you signed all these players, mind you guys were talking head, bro. You guys were talking like you guys were out here. The next new thing was just rolling up to Manchester United. You would have thought that you guys were about to go on a run and win a treble the way you guys were talking about these players. Like, hey, look. Hey, I'm glad I'm not a fan of them. But, I don't know. Being a fan sucks just as bad. 21 seasons without a Premier League is worse than 11 or 10, whatever you guys are on. So those are the main transfer news that I'm going to go ahead and go over. I'm at about 30 minutes. I appreciate the people who came in, left. I don't think I'm entertaining enough or my setup isn't good enough to keep people in here long enough. But we'll get there, man. I'm doing this more so, again, to rant on stuff that I got on my chest. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'm hoping to continue to do this. I'm going to do some reactions again tomorrow after the games. Tottenham play 7:30 Eastern time here in the U.S. So I'm going to try and do a live after that game. I think City play at 10 and Arsenal play at 12:30. So appreciate you guys. I think that's 12:30 UK time, 3 UK time, and 5:30 UK time. So we're going to go ahead and try from there. Catch up with some of you guys. Hopefully I can get on some collabs. Hopefully I can gather some people from over there and we'll go from there. I appreciate you. I've been ADR Sports TV. Peace.